Remember when you were a kid dreaming of what you wanted to be when you grew up? Maybe it was a teacher asking you, even in class, hey Jimmy, hey Timmy, hey Tommy, hey Johnny, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're a grown adult like your mommy or your daddy. Do you want to be a firefighter, an engineer, an astronaut? What do you want to be? A soldier? You've probably been in that position as a child if you look back in your life. But somewhere along that path, life threw obstacles in your way, or what we'll talk about later, gophers in your garden that dug up that dream, spoiled the seed, and now you live every day of your life trying to numb the pain of not achieving those dreams by drinking alcohol, smoking weed, smoking vape pens, whatever it is that's your vice to numb yourself from not achieving that lifelong dream that you set out to achieve when you were a kid. But what if I told you that you could protect that seed of your dream and bring it back to life? Like a garden, you could go through the weeds, begin to pluck the negative things that are disempowering you, and begin to plant and nurture and grow that dream that you once held as a child and see it to its entirety and fruition as an adult starting right now. Now, this might sound like it's too good to be true, but by the end of this video, I'll be giving you 3 of the most powerful lessons nature has taught me and that I've implemented in my life to become successful, and something you can immediately start to implement starting right now to enhance your life, to escape the rat race, get out of the trap of your own mind, and become the best version of yourself, not caring what other people think about you, and begin living your dream. So with no further ado, let's dive into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that dramatically shifted my life and how I viewed success and the ability to achieve success. The first thing I realized, and we just talked about it, was the fact that you need to realize that your little tiny dream can be an oak tree sleeping in an acorn, quite literally. I want you guys to look at this contrast right here. So recently I was in Big Sur, and as you can see in this video, there's a tiny acorn. It's so small, but one day this little acorn is going to sprout. I mean, unless like the birds or something gets it, it doesn't actually come to fruition. It's going to sprout into the ground and become a massive, firmly rooted oak tree. You can look around you. Even the device you're watching this video on was at one time someone's tiny little dream in their mind that they eventually grew into an oak tree. The house you're sitting in or the apartment you're sitting in was once a tiny dream someone or a group of people had in their mind and came together to make possible. That skyscraper that you see in the big city you're located in or that you drive through, that was once someone's small vision of a minuscule little dream that they had in their mind that sprouted and burst forth onto the scene as a skyscraper, as a tablet, as a computer, as a physical object that's made its way from the ether into physical reality. And you can do the exact same thing with your dreams. Now, a lot of times, especially as you get older and life just beats you down over and over again, it can seem like I'm going to give up on this dream. It's not worth it. It's just not going to happen. Time's passing me by. It's too late for me to do anything with my life. That dream that I once had, you can literally, it's really sad. You can look in the eyes of a lot of 40, 50-year-old men out there, and there's a dull, glazed over kind of look in their eyes where they lost that spark of inspiration and ambition that they had when they were maybe in their late teens, early 20s, really just still believing that they can achieve their dream and not giving up on that. And it's sad, but that light, it dims out. You know, the dimmers come on, the light switches turn off, and they pack up and leave their dreams behind. And a lot of times this is due to letting what I like to call gophers in your mental garden or the garden of your dreams. And gopher, it's funny because it comes from the little gopher in Winnie the Pooh, if any of you guys have watched that, where the gopher will go through the garden. Just imagine this garden being the garden of your dreams, everything that you've always wanted to do in your life, who you want to become, the lifestyle you want to live, how much money you want to make. You've at one time probably had this vision of what you would like your life to be. Maybe it was inspired through a movie or someone else that you saw living this lifestyle, and you said, I want to live that life. And over time, we've allowed these gophers or these little creatures, these energy sources, these energy vampires in our garden that start to dig up and destroy our dreams. And the most common gophers that you've probably allowed in your garden, I've allowed in my garden, it's fear, doubt, anxiety, depression, negative sources of energy like people or family members, friends. Those negative sources of energy can also be like gophers that go into your garden. And ultimately, these little creatures, these little gophers, they go through your garden eating up all your dreams. And there's ways around this. We're going to talk about that right now. And you have to implement these things if you want to actually self-actualize and bring forth that dream that you had when you were younger and begin to actually step into who you're meant to be. So the first thing you need to do is nurture your garden. What this looks like is you need to immediately cut off all negative sources of energy. There's two paths in life. There's the path that's helping you grow, and there's the path that's leading you further away from that goal and growth. And what you need to do is cut out and think to yourself in each situation, what is pushing me towards the growth path and what is leading me towards the decay or the path of death, quite literally, the death of my dreams and the death of my spirit and my soul, because it will be snuffed out, like we talked about the lights turning off in the older generation sometimes. So any negative behavior that is sucking the energy out of you, toxic people, toxic relationships, toxic foods, toxic content that focuses on negative things and concentrates on that and loops on it over and over and over again without any growth plan of action. It just is a constant loop of negativity. And the news, cut it all out and throw it away. Stop eating it. Stop consuming it. Stop watching it. Stop reading it. And focus on what you want out of this life and what brings you closer to your goals. Anything else is arbitrary and doesn't matter. One of the best ways, and not enough people do this, it's one of the best things they can do, but most choose to ignore it, but you, since you have this content, can implement it, is nurturing your garden or pouring water in the garden of your dreams by implementing helpful audio, video, autobiographies, and inspirational content that further assists you and pushes you towards a place of growth as a man. There's no time to complain. There's no time to surround yourself with negative people that are holding you down. That's going to leave you in the same place, if not worse, a year from now than you are today. If you continue down that path, you need to man up, grab your nuts, and do what is going to put you in a growth state. Positivity, growth, exponential growth takes a lot of time, dedication, and discipline, and you have to get into the habit of creating momentum in your life. One of the best things you can do to create that momentum is also getting your nutrition down packed, because it's essential that you have a clear and strong mind that's capable of discerning what's bringing you towards the good things in life and what's destroying you. And you also might need to make up for all the years that you've burned holes through your mind through alcohol, drugs, or vaping. So the first thing you can do in terms of nutrition is implement more omega-3 fats in your diet. I do this by taking 2 tablets of fish oil in the morning and 2 at night. You could do the same thing with krill oil, and you can find this at your local grocery store. You should also take zinc, magnesium, MCT oil. These help eliminate free radicals in the air and the water and the food that we have and all these processed GMO foods, and it strengthens the neural networks in your mind so you can think critically and actually have the willpower built up in your mind to persevere through whatever life throws at you, because life's constantly going to be throwing different things and monkey wrenches in your path, different little gophers, and you need a strong mind to push through those things. Another thing that's dramatically helped my energy levels and my stamina and my willpower has been cutting out all grains. Or if you can't do that, eliminating a lot of them. And then substituting those grains for grass-fed meats, in particular beef, okay? Bison meat also works. And in addition to this, eating pasteurized free-range eggs or chicken eggs. That's another thing that you can implement. There's a lot of healthy omega-3s in that as well, and other nutrients that will dramatically help you have a strong mindset and push through when life's difficult. And in addition to watering your garden by doing those things that we just talked about, you need to keep the best farmers around your garden. Now, what do I mean by this? You need to keep healthy, positive, uplifting, and inspired people in your inner circle of friends and relationships, because this reinforces and it strengthens your worldview towards growth and where you're looking to go. Because when you surround yourself with negative people, you naturally become more negative. When you surround yourself with positive people, we are like sponges. You absorb that positivity and you become a more positive person. When you surround yourself with people that are going places, that have dreams and goals and are very focused, when you watch content like this, you'll notice a shift in your mind after watching it. You'll be more inspired. Imagine being surrounded by a group or a network of men like this on a consistent basis. It would just be exponential rocket ship growth for you as a man. So be very careful with who you surround yourself with. Misery loves company. So the second thing I learned from nature was I need to get out more often in nature, and I highly recommend you do the same thing. Now, where I'm from, getting out and being around nature with no buildings, it's about 2 hours, especially with traffic. But I just think when I'm going to complain about the drive going down there and how it's so inconvenient, all the hours, and I'm sure you can relate to the same thing, you've spent commuting to work or commuting to do whatever, or spending 2 hours on TikTok or 2 hours on Instagram or all these pointless things that you've watched, reality TV. You could have used those 2 hours to get out of the city and go into nature. And nature has a natural restorative process to it where you become present to the moment and rejuvenated and energized by it. You'll realize also when you go to nature for a while and then you come back to the city you're in, that the city you're in is much like a zombie-like trap that the masses of people are stuck in and are going to die in. They're never going to see what's beyond the veil and all the beauty that nature has to offer. Nature also, if you're a creative person, it sparks creative ideas in your mind. It makes you present to the moment. It lets you connect with God and your purpose here. It gets you out of your mind and your ego and all the menial day-to-day tasks that you have to do or that you think you have to do in order to be someone in this world with all these superficial standards. So I highly recommend get out and enjoy nature. Set aside a little bit of time to go hiking, mountain climbing, be safe, rafting, fishing, kayaking, whatever it is you like to do, get out and go do it in nature. Get away from these buildings. It's a trap. It's a lie. The real life, really living takes place in nature. Trust me, you'll want to do it. And the third thing nature taught me, and I want to share with you, is the fact that so often, just like this little stream of water that we see here, and I was standing on the beach, it's so funny how God works. I happened to notice this little stream off to the side, and I saw it and it looked absolutely pitiful. It's green, you got this algae growing on it. Even the freaking soil or sand, whatever that is next to it, looks disgusting. And there's like little flies. It's just still water. It's disgusting. But what's funny about that, and the reason I bring it up, is because at one point in time, that little stream that's off by itself, that's separate from the whole of the ocean, was a part of this beautiful ocean that you can see here. And it was all at one time in oneness, in unity. And to me, for some reason, this perfectly illustrated how human beings and our ego acts towards God and being separate from other humans around us, which you could relate to the wholeness and the unity of the blue ocean that's beautiful, that's crisp, that's clean. Yes, I know there's like litter and stuff in the ocean nowadays through all the years of pollution and stuff, but I'm talking about just from what you can see in this visual. It's a representation. And then this separateness, this ego, this dirty little green, yucky, gunk-filled pond on the side that's separate from the source or the whole. And it sort of has the attitude of like, I'm my own separate little thing and I'm doing my own thing over here. I don't need to be a part of the whole. It has kind of that little spunky little attitude like, I'm staying over here. Like, I'm doing me. I'm unique. I'm this unique little stream of water. But in reality, it's disgusting, it's filthy, it's dirty. That's like our ego running us, where we don't want to be connected with other people and we think we're this separate little thing over here and we don't need God or other people and we can do everything in our own willpower. that's exactly what spoke to me when I saw this going on, this whole dynamic. So I think you guys will find that funny and pretty interesting yourself if you do, especially if you've lived a long time and you've been in the ego at one point, and then now you're slowly coming back to being humble and, you know, putting your ego down. You can definitely relate to what I just said. So overall, what I really want you to pay attention to in this video is the fact that your dreams are still alive in you. You just might have to clear out all the nasty little weeds and the crops that have infested your garden, as well as the gophers. We got to remember the gophers, those little sneaky things that come in and try to steal what you've once envisioned yourself becoming and the life you envision. Even though it might seem difficult nowadays to do that, you still have time to do these things. And that's what we're going to talk about in my upcoming book as well that I'm working on. I'm going to go into greater detail with all of this stuff, with more examples and more things that you can immediately start to implement to begin to improve your life. I love you all. Let's spread this video to more and more guys. Drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new. You want to stick around for more content like this. Have a blessed rest of your day and start going out and living your life and reclaim what was stolen from you.